Welcome to Section 2 of our course, Software Setup and Your First Python Script. This is where we transition from theory to practice, so get ready to set up your coding environment. The main goal of this section is twofold. First, to install the Python interpreter itself, and second, to install a powerful text editor where we will write our code. The tool I will instruct is Visual Studio Code, or VS Code. It is a popular, free, and lightweight code editor. VS Code is cross-platform, meaning it works on Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. This ensures that no matter what operating system you are running, you will have a consistent environment for learning. Because installation steps vary slightly depending on your operating system, maybe I will provide separate lectures for some platforms. Immediately following this introduction, we will begin with 2.2. Option 1. Environment Setup for Mac OS. This will cover installing Python and setting up VS Code on Mac OS. If you are on Windows or Linux, and I have the related videos, you can skip the Mac OS video and jump to the one that matches your machine, Windows 10 or Ubuntu Linux. Once your environment is set up, we will move quickly to writing our very first Python program, and then cover two essential fundamentals, comments and Python indentation. So, identify your operating system and get ready. The next lecture will be specific to macOS Monterey version 12.7.6. Are you excited to set up and code? See you in the next lecture that matches your machine. First, you need to access this address. Next, you hover your mouse over here, right here on Downloads. A view appears, and it appears with a download button suited to your OS. I am saying the gray button. You need to click this button to download. After download, you open the file. Okay, after opening the file, we will see a window like this. And now you see two checkboxes below, right? Mark both. After marking, you choose this option to download. Not the below one. Let's choose this one. You have now successfully installed Python, right? Now we are going to install VS Code. You access this page and maybe you will also see a download button suited to your OS. Like this. In this case my OS is Mac OS, so it shows me this one. Okay, you click on the download button and install it yourself. You've installed the VS Code successfully, right? And you can open the app like this, right? Now we are installing some extensions on VS Code. First, you open Terminal. Next, you run this command. And you run this command. I want to make sure, so I choose this version. After installing Python, we need to install VS Code, so you access this page. Here are many options, and I think you should choose this option. After downloading, we are installing it. Now you need to CD to the folder which contains the file just downloaded. Maybe your file is in the downloads. And maybe this command will CD to the downloads folder. After CD, you run this command. You've installed the VS Code successfully, right? And you can open the app like this, right? Now we are installing some extensions on VS Code. Welcome back. Have you successfully installed Python and set up VS Code on your machine? In this lecture, we're going to write and run our very first Python program. This is a big moment. Let's start in VS Code. Step 1. Create a new file. You can do this by going to File, New File. I'm going to call mine hello.py. The .py extension is crucial. It tells the operating system and VS Code that this is a Python source code file. Then you click this blue line. I create a folder to contain the file. You click on the Create File button to create the file. Step 2. Write code. Now we're ready to write some code. As is tradition in programming, our first program will simply print the message hello, world, to the screen. Type the following single line of code. Print, hello world. In this line, print is a built-in function in Python. Functions are blocks of code designed to perform a specific task. And the text inside the parentheses, "Hello, world," is the data we want that function to act upon, which is called an argument. Step 3. Make sure you save your file again after typing the code. Step 4. Now let's run it. In VS Code, open the integrated terminal. Before opening terminal, I will open the folder for the VS Code first. To open terminal, you go to the top menu, Terminal, and selecting New Terminal. To run the file, you type the command Python3 followed by the name of your file, hello.py, and press Enter. There it is. Hello world. You have successfully written and executed your very first Python program. Congratulations. This simple program demonstrates the basic structure of Python code. A file with a .py extension containing statements. In this case, one call to the print function. In our next lecture, 2.4, Comments, we will cover how to add explanatory notes to your code that the Python interpreter ignores. See you there. Welcome back. In our last lecture, we successfully ran our first Python program. Today, we're going to cover a fundamental concept: comments. I don't recommend you to use them. A legendary programmer will not have a single comment in his code, right? A comment is a line of text that the Python interpreter completely ignores when running your program. Its purpose is to provide information. 1. Single-line comments. In Python, we create a single-line comment by starting the line with the hash symbol or #, hashtag. Notice how I can put the comment on its own line, or I can put it immediately after a line of code to explain that specific line. When you run this file, the interpreter skips everything after the hashtag and just executes the print function. Let's quickly run it again. See? The comments are strictly for us. 2. Multi-line comments, docstrings. Sometimes you need a block of text to explain a function or a complex part of your script. While Python doesn't have a specific multi-line comment syntax, we typically use docstrings for this purpose. Docstrings are strings enclosed in 3 single quotes or 3 double quotes. They are often used right after a function or class definition to provide documentation. Since these strings are not assigned to a variable, the interpreter effectively ignores them, allowing them to function as multi-line comments. To recap, use the hash symbol for quick, one-line notes, and use triple quotes for longer blocks of documentation. Now that we know how to write code and note it in our next lecture, 2.5, Python indentation. See you then. Welcome back. We're wrapping up our setup section with a lecture on arguably the single most important syntactic rule in Python: indentation. In most programming languages, curly braces are used to define blocks of code, like the body of a function or a loop. In Python, we use indentation for this purpose. It is mandatory, not optional. What is indentation? Indentation refers to the spaces or tabs placed at the beginning of a line of code. In Python, when you start a new block of code, you must indent it. You can use 4 spaces for each level of indentation. Fortunately, modern editors like VS Code usually handle this automatically for you. Here, the two print statements that say, "Welcome, Administrator," and "Access Granted," are part of the if block because they are indented. The final print, "Program continues," is not indented, so it runs regardless of the if condition. When we run this, if is admin is true, all 3 lines run. If is admin is false, only the last line runs. Python uses the indent to determine the scope of the block. The critical rule. If you did not indent like this, it will raise an immediate error called an indentation error. So, remember, indentation is not style in Python. It is syntax. When you see a line ending in a colon, like after if, for, or def, you know the next logical line must be indented to start a new block. That concludes our setup section. You now have your environment ready, you can run your first script, you know how to comment your code, and you understand the importance of Python indentation. I'll see you in lecture 3.1 of the next section.